Hello and welcome to today's tutorial. My name is Charity of Crochets, and today we are making the bunny beanie ears. Alright, so I'm going to be using the same colors that I'm going to be using for the body of the beanie. Alright, for the beanie itself. So like always, I'm using Charity brand. sorry sorry, it's from Alliance, and today I'll be using pink, and I'll also be using neutral. Alright, so sorry, the specification is 4mm. all right, crochet hook, US F5, all right, and UK 8. However, I'm going to be using a 3mm hook. All right, actually a 3.5mm hook for the ears. All right, and then these are the two colors that I'll be using today. All right, which is pink and neutral. All right, so next you're going to need a few stitch markers, a tape measure to measure the length of your ears, a scissor or a cutter. All right, sorry about that, and definitely a 3.5mm hook. All right, so I'm going to make an ear that is a different color, pink on its own, and I'm going to make another one that's a neutral on its own. All right, so you're going to grab your hook, and sorry, the reason why I'm using a 3.5mm hook is because even though this yarn is a DK yarn, and that's recommended 4mm hook, for some reason this time around the badge is a little bit thinner than expected. It's normally the right size, but today it's just different. Right? And I'll be using a 3.5mm on the ears and a 3mm on the body, because I want the ears to be a little bit lighter than the body. That is why I'm using a bigger hook on the ears than on the body of the head, which is the beanie itself. Sorry about that. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to create a magic ring, and this is how I create mine. I hold the yarn to the far end with this other finger and this other hand, and with my left hand I'm going to wrap it around like that, insert my hook and grab. All right, from there I'm going to secure this end as I'm holding it like this, and then hold this one and begin to chain 3. All right. Sorry, so the chain 3 will not count. Actually, I like making a chain 2. All right, you can chain 3 if you want, but I'll make a chain 2. All right, so the chain 2 or 3 that you're going to make will not count as a stitch. All right, so into the magic ring you're going to yarn over to create a double crochet. That is our first double crochet there, second double crochet, sorry. All right, so I'm going to pull because it's a little bit too wide. All right, and then you're going to yarn over a double crochet. So currently I have 3 double crochets. I'm going to yarn over again 4 double crochet, 5th double crochet, and 6th double crochet. So that's what I need. That's 6 double crochets and a chain 2 or a chain 3. All right, so I'm pulling the tail. All right, and right on top of the chain 2 sorry, I'm going to make a slip stitch. All right, I've made a slip stitch, so I'm going to secure this tail by making a knot. All right, you can make a double knot if you like, no problem about that. So now I have 6 double crochets, right? Then I'm going to go ahead and chain 2. If you chain 3, you can go ahead and chain 3. So we are going to make an increase. An increase is you're going to yarn over into the first double crochet. You're going to insert 2 double crochets. All right. Sorry, I've inserted my 2 double crochets. You're going to go ahead into the next 2 double crochets. All right. Sorry. Into the next one, 2 double crochets. Into the next sorry, 2 double crochets. All right. So you're going to insert 2 double crochets on each and every stitch, and at the end of this round you'll be having 12 double crochets. All right. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, the last double crochet, 11, 12. All right. So I have 12 double crochets. After my 12 double crochets, I'm going to go ahead on my chain 2. All right. This is my chain 2, and I'm going to place a slip stitch. Sorry about that. I'm going to place a slip stitch. Right. So it is then that you're going to turn this little round into inside out. All right. So that this tail will be inside. All right. So we have already turned it inside out, and this is how it would look. All right. So after this chain 2, this slip stitch, you're going to chain 2. Sorry. After chaining 2, you yarn over into the first double crochet. We're going to go ahead and place 1 double crochet into the first double crochet. All right. The next stitch, you're going to do an increase, and an increase is 2 double crochets in 1 stitch. All right. So that's the pattern you're going to follow for this round. You're going to insert 1 double crochet. The next is an increase. All right. An increase, that's 2 double crochet. Yarn over the next one, 1 double crochet. Yarn over the next stitch, 2 double crochets in 1. All right. So this is exactly what you're going to do until you have 18 stitches. All right. So at the end of this round, you should be having 18 stitches. All right. So go ahead and do that and continue. All right. This is exactly what I'm trying to achieve. $18 double crochets. All right. So you should either count as you go, or after every round you check for correspondence. Sorry if I went off the grid there. 1 and 2. All right. So I'm going to check. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. All right. So my double crochets are corresponding well. Into the the chain 2, sorry, you're going to go ahead and make a slip stitch. All right. This is our round 3. All right. For our round 4, you are no longer making increases, so you're going to chain 2, and into the first double crochet you made, you're going to make another double crochet. Into the next double crochet. So for this round, you are making double crochets without increases. It's a normal row, which means at the end of this round, you're still going to have 18 double crochets. All right. So that is exactly what you're going to do. All right. Sorry. All right. $17 and 18, right? I have 18 double crochets, so I'm going to go ahead on my chain 2 and do a slip stitch. All right, so this is how it looks at the current moment. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is our 4th row. For the 5th row, you're going to chain 2, all right, and we are going to place 1, okay, double crochet, and a 2nd double crochet on another stitch. So it's 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet. On the next one, you're going to make an increase, which means you're placing 2 double crochets. All right, then 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet. So that is 1 double crochet on each of the 2 stitches. Then that's when you can make an increase, which is 2 double crochets in 1 stitch. So at the end of this row, you should be having 24 double crochets. All right, so you're going to go ahead and follow the pattern. All right, and we will meet while we begin our 6th round. All right, it's 1 1, then 2, 1 1, which is 1 double crochet for the 2 stitches, and 2 double crochets, sorry, in 1 stitch. All right, 1 1. So you should always check the correspondence of your stitches after each and every round. So we are going to check. That is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24. All right, so the last stitch is an increase stitch. All right, so I have my 24 double crochets. Right on my chain 2, I'm going to go ahead and place a slip stitch. All right, that. So this is how it looks right now. Okay, so which means the next round is a round of no increases. All right, so this is our round 6, right? Round 6, you're going to place you're going to first do your chain 2. All right, after your chain 2, you're going to go ahead and place 1 double crochet on each and every stitch. All right, so since the previous round you had 24 double crochets, it means this will also be 24 double crochets because you are no longer increasing. All right, so go ahead, do that, and we will meet as we begin round 7. All right, no increases, remember. All right, no increases. So I've come to the end of my 6th round, all right, which is a no increase round, and I'm going to go ahead and make a slip stitch. All right, so at this point my double crochets are 24, right? So we're going to begin our 7th round, all right, which will also be the round of our last increase. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, chain 1, 2, all right, yarn over, first double crochet, you place a double crochet, yarn over, second double crochet, you place a double crochet, yarn over, third double crochet, you place a double crochet. So we have 3 double crochets, and then you're going to work an increase. An increase is 2 double crochets into 1 stitch. All right, so this is what you're going to follow: 1 double crochet, second double crochet, and the third double crochet. All right, each on every stitch. On the next, which is the 4th stitch, you place 2 double crochets. That's an increase, which means at the end of this round 7 you're going to be having 30 double crochets. All right, so that's exactly what you're going to follow until you reach the end of round 7. All right, that is 3 double crochets, one on each stitch, and then an increase, which is 2 double crochets on 1 stitch. So go ahead and do that, and we shall meet at the beginning of round 8. Right, so I've come to the end of my 7th round. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do a slip stitch, and likewise I checked the correspondence of my stitches. All right, so we are going to get into another round, which is round 8, and that's when you're going to need your stitch marker. All right, just so that you can remember, but if you can memorize it, it's still okay. All right, so on my 7th round here, I'm going to place a stitch marker because the round that I'm working now, it's a no increase round, and I'm not going to increase after this 8th round. All right, so you're going to go ahead and chain 2. All right, chain 2, first double crochet, second double crochet until you have 30 double crochets. All right, so it's a no increase row. All right, so you're going to go ahead and work this no increase row, which is our 8th round. All right, and we'll meet thereafter to explain what happens next. All right, I've come to the end of my 8th round. All right, and I'm going to place a slip stitch on my chain 2. Right, so this is how it looks right now. All right, so for the next round, which is round 9, you're going to work no increases. All right, the same way that you have worked round 8. All right, it's no increases until you reach the length of the ear that you are going for. All right, so for the shorter ears you can do up to round 12. All right, and you can increase as you go, maybe making them for the medium length you can make them maybe 18 or 25, however you like. For an adult size I make 34 rows before I could work my increases. All right, 34 rows means 34 from here. When I say 12, I mean 12 from the beginning. All right, so you're going to work the number of rows that you desire your ears to be before we could work a decrease. So the reason why for an adult size that I work 34 rows is because I want the ears to reach around the nipple length. All right, that's what I did for the last one that I made. Right, so you're going to make the number of rows that you desire to have, and I'm going to go ahead and work the ones that I desire. Those are beanie for a child. All right, it's for a 5-year-old, and however I'll make a medium size length. All right, the only thing that differs is the length, but the width is the same. All right, so this is my 9th row, so I think I'm going to go ahead and work 20 rows, that is 20 from here. Then I'll come back to show you the length, and then we start on making decreases. So I've come to the end of the length that I'm going for, and I've decided to make it 10 inches instead of just counting the number of rows. All right, so right now, from right where we started, all right, from right where we started up to this point is 10 inches. All right, it's 10 inches, and with my 3mm hook and the yarn that I'm using, I rather did 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17, right? This is 17 rows, all right? And then 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So I decided to rather do 24 rows before my decreases. Remember, I mentioned that for my adult head, I did 34 rows before I could work my decreases. So I decided to make this one 24, all right, which means I managed 20 rows. All right, so you're going to go ahead and do a slip stitch after you have acquired the length that you are going for. All right, so since for a medium length, let me say for an adult length, it's 34 rows, and the medium length is 24 rows, then you're going to make 12 rows, all right, for the shorter length, which is small. All right, so thereafter, after a slip stitch, when you have acquired the length that you're going for, all right, you're going to go ahead and chain 2, all right, then you're going to start working your decreases. So your decreases, you're going to first start by working 3 double crochets, that is 1, 2, 3, all right, that is 1 on each and every stitch. All right, so each of the 3 stitches you place 1 double crochet. All right, from there you're going to make a decrease. That means you're going to make incomplete half double crochets, 1 on each stitch, before you could pull over. Before you could pull through all. All right, so I'm going to make an incomplete double crochet, which is you yarn over the same way that you would make a double crochet, and you don't complete it. Yarn over into the next stitch. All right, you don't complete it, so you're going to yarn over again to pull through all these 3 loops that you have in your hook. That's a decrease, because now this has turned into 1 stitch instead of 2 stitches. All right, and thereafter we make your 3 double crochets, that is 1 on each and every stitch. All right, 2, then 3. All right, I'm going to demonstrate the decrease again. You yarn over into a double crochet, you make an incomplete double crochet. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over into the next, an incomplete double crochet, 3 loops on your hook. All right, then you're going to yarn over and pull through loops to make 1 stitch. All right, so that's exactly what you are going to do. All right, 1, 2, 3, and then you work your decrease. All right, yarn over into the stitch, incomplete double crochet, yarn over into the stitch, incomplete double crochet, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all. All right, so this is the pattern that you are going to follow. All right, and at the end of this round you should be having 24 double crochets because you are decreasing. Remember, we've been working the 30 double crochets on this row, so now you are decreasing them to 24. All right, so that's exactly what you're going to do, and we are going to meet on the next round. The next round depends on the number of the rounds that you did to attain the length that you are going for. So from this point, I'm no longer going to make the count of the rows because we may be working different lengths, but this is what you have to know, that this is our first decrease, and the first decrease is 3 double crochets, 1 on each and every stitch, then 2 half double crochets, incomplete half double crochets rather, 1 on each stitch, and you make your decrease. All right, so go do that, and we are going to make our second decrease thereafter. So I've come to the end of my round and I'm making my last decrease. So when you're making decreases, for you to know that your stitches are corresponding well, your last stitches should be the decrease stitch, the same way as when you were making your increases, the last stitch was the increase stitch. All right, that's how you'll know that your rows or your stitches, are corresponding. So you're going to go ahead and make a slip stitch, right? And the same way as after the increases, you are working a normal row is exactly what you're going to do. So you're going to work a normal row after our first decrease, right? So that means at the end you're still going to have 24 double crochets, all right? Because we want to strike a balance. All right, so you're going to go ahead on this round after your first decrease. The next round is a round of no decreases. That means you're still going to have 24 double crochets. All right, so you're going to go ahead and do that, and we will meet when we start our other row of decreases. All right, so I've come to the end and I'll go to place a slip stitch. All right, just like that. So as you can see, our work is starting to curve in. All right, it's not longer going outwards or straight. All right, so it's curving in. So we're going to work our second decrease. All right, the same way as we worked the last decrease, we're going to place 1, all right, double crochet on the next stitch, 1 double crochet. All right, remember when we're working our increases, we placed at the first row we placed it 3 double crochets and worked an increase. The second row was a row of no increase. Then our second increase, we worked 2 double crochets before we could work an increase. So similarly here, the first row we worked 3 double crochets and then an increase. All right, and then we did our row of no increase. So for this one, we're going to work 2 double crochets, 1 on each stitch, then we work a decrease. All right, and as you know, a decrease, it's an incomplete double crochet, another incomplete double crochet, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all. All right, then you go ahead and make 1 double crochet on one stitch, another double crochet on the following stitch, then you work your decrease. All right, so you're going to go ahead and work the decrease, and after the decrease of this round, you're going to have 18 double crochets instead of 24. All right, so go ahead and do that, and we will meet on the next row. All right, I've come to the end of the row, and this is my very last decrease. All right, and then I'm going to place a slip stitch. That's the last decrease on the row. All right, Likewise, you're going to chain 2. Go ahead and work 1 double crochet on each and every stitch to maintain the decreases. All right, so since this was 18 stitches, I'm going to go ahead and work your double crochets, and at the end of this round you should be having 18 double crochets. All right, go ahead and do that, and we will meet at the end of the round. 18 double crochets, remember. All right, I've come to the end of my round, and I'm going to place a slip stitch. So I have 18 double crochets. All right, so we're going to make another decrease. All right, our next decrease, like we did with the increases, you're going to chain 2, place 1 double crochet on the first stitch. The second stitch, you're going to make a decrease, that is an incomplete half double crochet. On the next one, an incomplete half double crochet, 3 chains on your loop, yarn over and pull through 3. All right, 1 double crochet, incomplete double crochet, incomplete double crochet, 3 loops on your hook, and then you pull through. So this is exactly what you are going to do until you reach the end. And at the end of this round, you should be having 12 double crochets, 12 stitches, all right, instead of 18, because we are making decreases. All right, so go ahead and work your decreases, and we shall meet at the end. So I've come to the end of my row of decrease, and I'm going to place a slip stitch. Sorry, my chair makes a noise. All right, and from here I'm going to chain 2. All right, I'm going to chain 2. So here you can go ahead and make 1 double crochet on each stitch. All right, so that you have 12 individual double crochets. All right, individual double crochets. But still, if you like, you can go ahead and make your last decrease just after the last decrease without making a normal row. But however, because we want to strike a balance, you'll have to make a row of double crochets, of 12 double crochets. All right, so thereafter I'm going to slip stitch. All right, so after the slip stitch, what you're going to do next is you're going to make a decrease on each and every stitch, so that at the end of the row you're going to have 12 double crochets. All right, so you're going to chain 2, yarn over into the very first stitch, an incomplete double crochet, yarn over into the next, an incomplete double crochet, then you make your decrease. All right, so at the end of this you're going to have 6 stitches. All right, that's my second there. I'm working my third. All right, I'm working my fourth. All right, and then I'm going to work my fifth one. That's my fifth. All right, so I'm left with 2 stitches. I'm going to work my last decrease, which is my 6th. All right, sorry, That's my 6th double crochet. I mean my 60th decrease, sorry. So I'm going to go ahead and work a slip stitch. As you can see, our work has become smaller, right? It has become smaller, and since we started with a 6 double crochet here on the magic ring, we're going to end with 6 double crochets at the end. All right, 6 stitches. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my yarn. All right, from this point it's up to you. I have 6 stitches already, so it's up to you whether you make 6 individual double crochets or just you leave it with just the stitches here after it decreases. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to yarn over and chain 1. All right, so you're going to leave a tail that you're going to cut to use while you are joining it to the body of the beanie. All right, so this is where I end with the ear for the medium size, which I'm using for a toddler head. All right, so it measures 13 inches. All right, 13 inches. So you're going to go ahead and make a second ear and you will be done. All right, so this is just as simple as that. All right, so go ahead and make a second one and I will meet you thereafter. All right, so here are my 2 bunny ears. All right, 2 of them. Okay, and they are ready. So remember, after working, you can either adjust the seam, as you can see the line here, to be this way. Remember, while we were working, it was like this. All right, so you can adjust it anyhow so that you can direct the seam where you want it. It's either you want it on the side like I just did here, and definitely this part will be underneath. All right, or you may put it just behind like this, sorry, like this. Now the seam is there, and then the side will be as clean as this, but for me I prefer putting it on the side, so the only part of the seam that will be exposed will either be somewhere here at the top or somewhere at the bottom. Right, so I'll fold it so that the seam can be on the side, and the seam will only appear from here going up. And when I install my ear, I'll install it this way so that this side will be the good side and this side will be the bad side. All right, so since you have your 2 bunny ears ready, you're gonna have to work on the beanie itself, because that's where you're going to install them. All right, so the ears are very lightweight. They're really lightweight, which is why I chose a bigger hook size for the ears than the one I would use for the beanie, so that they would be lighter on the beanie. All right, so this is how the ears look like when they're installed to the beanie, and they really look very nice and beautiful. So I'll also provide a link for the beanie itself, the full beanie, the full tutorial for everything, so that you can watch it as well. And thank you very much for watching, and your support really means a lot to me. Until next time, bye.